Hey there, a couple people have asked me about making yogurt at home. And yeah, this is something my wife and I have been doing for a while. You can absolutely do this with nothing special other than your stove, I guess I should say oven, and a pot that'll hold however much yogurt you want to make. In our case, we have gone on to using Instapot. I'm not sponsored by them. It just works really well. And all it requires is a gallon of milk, a little bit of yogurt, as little as a tablespoon, and then in this case, the Instapot. And we bought ours, I believe, on sale on one of the Black Friday specials. So I think we got it for $79 or $99 or something. And given the price of Greek yogurt, which is what I'll be making, it pays for itself fairly quickly, and it just makes it easier. So, we make yogurt bi-weekly, I guess, throughout the year, so 26 times a year or so. Our kids and my wife and I go through that at that rate. And all you want to remember is before you get to the very end, start again so that you have it ready for you the next time. So anyway, step one's buy a gallon of milk. Step two is make sure you have some yogurt. Step three, have this. And I'll show you really quick how simple this is. So this is just it's got a little metal container inside, and I'm just gonna literally pour the gallon of milk in. Plug it in. And this is the step that you could do in your oven if you wanted to. Essentially, you just scald the milk. And so this is gonna bring it to a boil. And on our Instapot, there is a button right here that says yogurt. And if you hit it once, then you can hit adjust until it says boil. And that's what we want. Put the lid on. Takes about, I think it takes about 90 minutes, maybe a little bit less than that. And then it'll tell you when it's boiled and ready for the next step. See you then. Bye. Hey there, so here we are an hour later. I was wrong about the timing. It's 90 minutes to cool, but an hour to get to the boil in here. So what we do then is take it out of here. Once it says yogurt, that's what that's supposed to say. This is super hot, so you're gonna want hot pads and then a place to let it cool. So I have cats, so what I do is I take it over here and I put it on the stool in my pantry. And then I set a timer for 90 minutes because that's how long it takes it to cool. And then I'll be ready for the next step. So here I am 90 minutes later. Yogurt is now warm to the touch. If you check it with a thermometer, it should be about 115 degrees. You're shooting for something between 110 and 117. I like 115, so I can pick it up and I'll go put it into the container. All right, so then you put your yogurt in your yogurt maker. You need a dollop of yogurt. This is what we have left in our fridge. So what you want to do is always make sure you save yourself a little bit of yogurt for your next batch, and then you never have to buy it from the store again. And it really can be as little as this, like a tablespoon. I think once upon a time I used to use like a quarter cup. It doesn't really matter. It just needs a little bit of the enzymes or whatever is in yogurt that makes it go. And, as long as you have that tablespoon or so, you should be fine. And you put your lid on. There we go. I don't know why it's locked on me. There we go. And then we go yogurt. And now we adjust. We don't want boil. I like 24 hours, so I'll see you in a day. 22 hours, 39 minutes, not quite 24 hours, but really anything beyond 6 or 8 hours is good. Under that, it gets a little grainy, so it's not quite as creamy or smooth. So the next part is to take it out of here and then strain it. And I'll see you on the other side while I set that up. So inside, what you're gonna see is that, which is essentially what your milk has turned into. And it is big and gloppy and It tastes like yogurt, but it's very runny because the whey is still part of that. So what I like to do is I use an immersion blender and chop it up. It helps it strain faster. And for me, I think it also makes it creamier. And my setup generally is I have another one of these, which is the same as the container that went into the Instapot. I use a colander and then cheesecloth, or in my case, I just use this thin towel. So what I'll do is I'll zip this up, I'll put it in there and let it drain. So I'll show you in a second. So this is what it looks like when I have used the immersion blender and then put in the cheesecloth. And what I'm going to do is I will cover it and then you allow it to strain as long as you'd like. I usually stick for about a day. And what I've learned is with cheesecloth, if you leave it hanging down like this, or a napkin in this case, it will run down and then drip and make a mess. And so I always make sure to put the corners up on the edges like that. And then I'll put it in my refrigerator and kind of forget about it, pretend it's not there for a bit. And then when I come back, it'll be delicious and ready, and I'll weigh it and tell you how much yogurt we got. I almost forgot one other step. Typically I wait a couple hours until enough of the yogurt kind of soaks down. And then what I do is, to kind of encourage it to move a little faster, I take the corners and just kind of group them together. Then I give it a spin. You can kind of see the yogurt in there. And then I put it back in the fridge. So tomorrow morning when I look at it, I'll be able to dump it out and we'll have nice, creamy, delicious yogurt ready to rock. Bye. Morning. Here we are the next day with my yogurt container. I'll take the lid off and I'll show you what we're dealing with here. If you look underneath, you can see the whey. So that's all the liquid that came out of there. And then the actual yogurt itself is in there. And so it looks creamy and delicious. And then if you give me a second, what I'll do is I'll weigh these things because I'm just kind of curious to see exactly how much yogurt we produced and how much whey came out of that gallon of milk. There are things you can do with whey. I know some people use it in, I think like in Parmesan cheese or something. I've never found a use for it. So for me, it just goes down the drain. But realistically, you know, I get a decent amount of yogurt out of that gallon of milk. And so if all I get is that portion, I feel like that's $3 or $3.38 or whatever a gallon of milk is going for currently. Well worth it. So see you in a couple minutes. And here we are. I have, what was it? It was 48 ounces of yogurt. This is a 15.7 cup container that I don't know, I think I bought at Target or something like that. But, you know, for the price of a gallon of milk, I produced 48 ounces of yogurt, Greek yogurt, and what was it, 66 ounces of whey. So if you can find a use for whey, let me know. And if you want to make yogurt, hopefully this video helped.